What is up? Welcome back to Mindful May. Today I'm recreating the Christy Dawn Calico Blues dress, or attempting to recreate it. It is such a beautiful dress and it is currently sold out, so I'm going to try to recreate it myself. Looking at the dress, it has puffy sleeves, a tie front with a tassel, maxi length pockets, I think, and then a small ruffle at the bottom. So considering patterns I could use, I definitely think I can hack the Merrymaker pattern, which is my free pattern that I released last year. So I'm gonna go with that. Wish me luck. As for the fabric, I couldn't really find anything online that looked exactly like it, but that is okay. I found this 100% cotton ditzy floral from Hobby Lobby and got 4 yards of that, which I think should be enough. And I think it's beautiful for what I'm trying to make today. As I mentioned, it also has the tie front with the draw cord or drawstring with a little tassel on the end, and I found that difficult to find online or track down in a store. So I ended up buying this 100% cotton cording from Hobby Lobby as well. And I'm hoping to fray the ends to give it a kind of tassel look. I'm hoping it works out. So I'm gonna grab some coffee and then we should jump into this project. I should also mention my fabric has been pre-washed, which is a very important step, and it honestly dried pretty smooth, so I might press it a little bit, but this is how it's looking. Wow, that's really good. I tried a new recipe and that's very tasty. Okay, let's talk about all the ways I changed or altered my Merrymaker pattern. So if you have signed up for my newsletter and downloaded this pattern, or maybe you've even made the Merrymaker dress, which is awesome, then you're familiar with it. If you're not, you can go check that out. That's a different video. To make this dress, I need to alter it a little bit. So these are all the changes I made just in case you want to make one similar to me. To start, I deepened the armholes by 2 inches. So before you went down 5 inches, now I went down 7 inches. Just so the dress can sit a little bit higher and not be as much of a boat neckline. I also made the sleeves bigger, so I increased the width of them. Instead of doubling it, I doubled it and then added about 6 more inches of fabric to make them a little more puffy. So I took it from my normal 24 inches to 30 inches. Again, this is based on my measurements. You can check out the pattern and change it based on your measurements. Next, I wanted to make the overall width of the dress smaller. So instead of it being double what my bust measurement is, I multiplied it by 1.5. Next, of course, I lengthened it. I just took my desired length from the top to the bottom, which is about 42 inches or so, while being mindful of the ruffle that will be added as well. Next, I sloped the neckline just a little bit instead of it being such a square pattern. I noticed this from making the daisy frock a couple times, that her pattern has a sloped neckline, so I just sloped mine out just a little bit more. I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference, but I'm gonna try it. Next, of course, I'm adding a ruffle at the bottom. I'm going to make 2 pieces of fabric and multiply them by 1.5 from what my bodice width is. So if my bodice width is 30, 1.5 of that is 45. So that will be the width for one of my ruffles. I made the height 3.5 inches, and then I'm going to cut 2 of those. We're gonna sew them in one big loop, gather it together, and add it to the bottom of the dress. So that's a lot of changes I made. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 updates to the Merrymaker pattern to hopefully make it look more like this Christy Dawn dress. I did make a paper pattern. It's very much Frankenstein. I cut out a couple pieces of craft paper based on my measurements. It will be nice to have these to lay down on my fabric to properly cut things out. Let's get into cutting out the pattern. Okay, so I've cut the front and the back, working on the sleeves. I did lay these all out to make sure I had enough, and I definitely do. The best part is that this long strip against the edge is going to be available for the ruffle, which needs to be 45 inches. So that's perfect that this is taking up just like this long chunk and leaving a big strip. But I was thinking while I was cutting that I really need new scissors. I have definitely been a bad sewist and used these for things that are not fabric, and I know you're not supposed to do that. I've also had them just for several years, and they're not the greatest quality to start with. So this is just a creative chat to ask you guys what brands of scissors you like. I've seen those ones that are like really sleek and black. I don't remember the name of the brand, but I've seen them around YouTube. And then of course there's like the yellow ones and the orange ones. I really don't know my sewing brand names. I've just seen them at the store and I just assume that there are a few really good brands. So if you have scissors that you absolutely love, let me know. These are just getting really rough to work with. No dress is complete without pockets, so I am adding pockets from the Daisy Frog pattern. I just like how these are shaped. So cutting out 4 of these to add to the dress. This video is sponsored by Craftsy. If you've been watching my channel and wanting to learn to sew, you are going to love this. Craftsy is this amazing online community full of creative classes, and they have a ton for people who want to learn how to sew. Whether you are brand new or just want to sharpen your skills, there are classes on everything from beginner sewing to pattern making to quilting and so much more. I originally joined Craftsy to refresh my knitting skills. I had learned last winter, but I needed to refresh my skills. So I started taking classes from the Startup Library, which is a beginner knitting class from instructor Susan B. Anderson. And it's been the perfect step-by-step class that's going to help me finally finish my sweater, hopefully in time for winter. Craftsy has over 2,000 on-demand classes taught by expert instructors, plus downloadable resources, live tutorials, and a great community of makers to keep you inspired. It's basically your online resource for all things creative. The first 1,000 of you to click my link in the description will get 1 full year of a Craftsy premium membership for just $1.49. That is for new members only, so join Craftsy today. Alrighty, I've got my front and my back bodice, 2 sleeves, 4 pockets, 2 ruffles, ready to rock. I'm going to start by serging my pockets, and then I'm going to attach them to the dress. I can't remember where I learned this, but I now always top stitch my pockets. It helps the pockets to open more easily, and it makes it easier to put your hand through. All right, whoa. The dress and the pockets are done. It's time to move on to the sleeves. And just remember, this is written out for you in the Merrymaker pattern because I can't give everything away. You gotta go check out the pattern to see all the steps. We're gonna start the sleeves. Oh my gosh, they're gonna be so puffy. And then we'll attach it to the dress. I think this is gonna come together pretty quickly today, actually. I thought for some reason with it being longer, it would just be more to manage and it would take a long time. But also this fabric is making it so easy. It's just so crisp and beautiful to work with. That's why you should always iron your fabric. All right, it's time to make the buttonholes at the top. And these are the same instructions as are in the pattern. To be honest, I don't really like making buttonholes, but I feel it's the best way to get the drawstring through. So here we go. This is looking ginormo, and I'm starting to second guess my sizing. There's not much I can do about the sizing now, so I'm just gonna continue on. I'm gonna make my neckline channel starting with a 1/2 inch fold. We'll just do this all the way around. Okay, the top neckline's done. It's time to move on to the sleeves. I'm going to complete these the same way that I do in my Merrymaker pattern. All right, just as we do every time we make a little ruffled sleeve hem, I'm going to sew around the whole sleeve, but leave a little gap for the elastic to go through. Okay, sleeves are done, and now I'm trying to decide if this is the tie that I want. It's definitely giving prairie vibes, so I think I should go for it, and then we'll work on the ruffle. Okay guys, dare I say, it looks really good so far, and it feels really good. Like, the weight of the cotton is really nice. I wish I made the ties a little bit longer, but I am not about to put it through again. I actually had to do it twice because I lost my pin the first time. It like disconnected from the string, so I did it a second time. So now all that's left is to fray the edges and then add the ruffle. We're moving on to the ruffle. I sewed the short ends together, right sides together, like this, and finished it. So now I have one big circle. Sorry, there's some yard work going on outside. And then I made a small, just the ittiest bittiest double rolled hem on one side. Doesn't really matter what side. So I'm going to sew that, and then we'll make the gathering stitch on the other side, this raw side, and gather it up to the width of the dress. All right, now I'm switching to a wide stitch. And I'm going to decrease my tension and make a gathering stitch along the top raw edge. There's some loud construction going on outside, so you're in my living room. If you couldn't tell, I made this a little bit longer than I initially did. I said 3.5 inches, and then I made it a little longer because the photo looks like it had a really long ruffle. So I am going to now gather this using these long strings. You can just pull one of them gently to gather the fabric. I know there's lots of tricks to do this faster or better, but I haven't tried them out. I just do it the old-fashioned way. So this might take me some time. I'm taking essentially 90 inches of fabric and bringing it down to about 60 inches in circumference. So this might take me a little bit. I'm just gonna sit down and watch a show. Okay, I have everything gathered up and pinned to the right side of the dress, and it's looking so cute. So I'll just start at the side seam and sew this on, and then overlock this raw edge, and then the dress will be done. You guys, the dress is done and it is so cute. I'm gonna wait to try it on until my husband comes home because this deserves a proper frolic in the fields. She is so beautiful. And this was about as frayed as I could get the tassels, but I think it looks pretty cute. Let's take it out for a spin. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this recreation journey. I feel like it worked out really well, even better than I had pictured, and that doesn't always happen. If you like content like this, would you consider subscribing? I'm always surprised when I go in my analytics and see that the majority of the people who watch my channel are not subscribers. So if you like this kind of content and you like watching sewing and recreation, I have lots of videos like this. It would mean so much if you would join the Mindful Make family and subscribe for more videos. And I will see you in the next one. Cheers!